What's up, party people? G5 Productions in a place to be. Superman First Class in the mix. And today we're going to change out the battery in the Chauvet Freedom Part Hex 4. Let's get it. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm excited because I finally got a replacement battery for one of my Freedom Part Hex 4s. We're going to talk about why I'm changing the battery in the first place, but more importantly, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to replace this thing. Now, before we do, I'm going to ask you guys to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And of course, leave me some comments below because I'm always curious about what you guys thinking about our videos and the content that we're putting out here at G5 Productions. Okay, party people, so
Why am I changing out the battery in the first place?
I loaned these lights out to a fellow DJ, and he did say, hey, you know, the lights were kind of going out because the event was so long and he didn't have the charge cables for them. So as lights were going out, which this was the first light, he told me, he said the light went out and I just put it in the bag. Once he brought it back to me, 2:30 in the morning, all these lights are inside of a case, upside down, so I just plugged them all in to recharge all of them. Unbeknown to me, this light was actually on and being charged inside of a bag. At my event, there was something like 21 up lights used, and this one being kind of close to me, I noticed that once I turned on everything with the DMX controller, a couple of minutes or so went by and it went out. So I grabbed a power cable, plugged it into this light, and I thought, okay, maybe I could charge it. And if not, then I'll just leave it plugged into the wall and use this one plugged in, and the rest of them are all good to go. I plugged it in quickly and moved on to something else. I noticed that this light at some point wouldn't even come on anymore. And when I got home, it was still bothering me that this light wasn't charging. So I charged all the lights I were using again, and I noticed this light had 4 really dim flashing LEDs on the charge indicators, and it's been plugged in for a long time, and I figured that the battery was probably just done for. However, to test that theory, I took the battery out of one of the good lights and I put it in this light, and everything worked out okay. So I'm going to show you all that stuff, and then we're going to change this battery out and keep it moving. So hit the like button. All right, party people, here we go. So I've marked this one with an X, meaning this is the bad light, and this is light fixture number 3. That's how my lights are labeled. Pretty much every single one of them are that way. As I turn the good one on here, it's already set to color number 3, which is blue as indicated on my shirt here. And I'm going to turn on the bad light. And the thing you will probably see is absolutely nothing because the battery is shot. But in testing that theory, obviously the first thing we're all going to do is attempt to plug things in. Here's one cable already plugged in. It's an IEC cable. And this one just the same. This one is now blinking. So here we go. I'm unplugging and it shows like it's a full charge, but really it's not fully charged, like 100%. It might be at 90% or 80%, who knows, but it's definitely above 75%. So when I plug this in, right, this is typically what happens. You'll get a set of blinking lights here indicating where the charge is. So in other words, this light is almost fully charged. I'm going to now unplug this light, and then as they are off, I'm going to plug it back in all the way, and you're going to see now these lights are flashing very, very dim. Also, the fixture is now turned on and I have nothing. So both lights are plugged in, turned on color mode blue, but I have nothing here out of the bad light. When I read the manuals, I reached out to Chauvet, and there was really no code that describes what does this mean. I know this one is basically charging. So when it gets a full charge, they'll be 100% lit on all 4, and I can unplug it. From there, it'll be using straight battery power until it dies. Now let's move on now to turning things off, taking it apart, and swapping out the battery so I could test the good battery on this light. I have an assortment of screwdrivers. This one works for all of the screws. There's 4 screws pretty much in the corners of the bottoms here. Now here on this side, we have a couple of more screws we need to take off, and this is pretty much where you can mount O-clamps. This is your M12 mounting hole right there. This is turned off. And the way you remove it is simply pull it out like this, straight up. Now there are cables and stuff you got to look out for, so I'm just going to slowly flip this around so you guys can see what is going on here. So there is the battery, and I did go in here before and I marked this battery number 1 because I didn't want to get the two confused on which is which later. The circuitry is actually pretty simple, but the thing we want to get to is the actual battery, right? Right down inside of here, you have to finesse this out. Now be very careful because there is a clip in there, and you have to just simply squeeze it and pull straight on. And now the battery part is disconnected. The other thing you have to do to get the battery out of here is there is down here a screw, and just simply turn it out and remove it. Also, that particular screw does come with a lock washer. Okay, so now that we've got the ground screw out of the battery, we just took off this green wire right here. This is a bracket where I wrote the number 1 here. There's 4 screws that hold that bracket in. So let's go ahead and remove those screws as well. This is light number 1 with battery number 1 totally removed. This is light number 3 here with battery number 3 totally removed. Now what we're going to do here is temporarily reconnect the battery into light fixture number 1 because I wanted to show you guys why we're changing the battery out in the first place. So what I've done was developed a couple of tests. So let's go ahead and get both batteries reconnected, and we're going to get into changing it here shortly. But I'm just connecting these so that you guys can see now what the issues are and why I decided I needed to change battery number 3. For the sake of the test, I put this one on blue and I put this one on green. So when they turn on, this one is blue, this one is green. This one is showing 4 bars, this one is showing 1 bar. Here's why I think that something may be wrong with battery number 3. So the first test is to plug both lights in to see how the light fixtures respond. So we're going to do this while the lights are on. Here's a disclaimer. Do not do this. I recommend you get a licensed, trained, authorized dealer for Chauvet to do this. But I feel comfortable. I'm going to do it. So here we go. So I am simply plugging this IC cable in how I would normally plug in when I'm charging the lights, right? Now keep in mind that yes, they are on at the moment, but this light here, the bad light, is on 25%. This one was on 100%, but as you can see, the 100% light now is starting to flash. So it's probably not fully 100%, but nevertheless, it wasn't below 75%. Everything seems normal at the moment. So we got this one's green, this one's lit. But let's see what happens when we turn these lights off. Now I want you to make notice of 2 things happening with the LED lights. This one is still flashing like normal, and these 4 are flashing very dim, and all 4 of them are flashing in unison. I couldn't find a specific code in the manual for that, so that made me think that possibly the battery is shot on this light. So now let's swap the 2 batteries and see what the difference is. Battery number 1 is now in light number 3, and battery number 3 is now inside of light number 1. So what we're going to do is turn these on and see what happens. First things first, we're going to make an observation to the display. This light is showing all on at 100% charge. It's probably really less, but just like it was over here when this battery was over here, it's now showing 100% all on. This light is also showing that it is 25%. So we know this is a good light, and with the right battery that we know it was a good battery. But let's see what happens when we plug these lights in. Plug in this and plug in that one. I want you to notice something. This went immediately from 25% to 50%. And over here on this fixture, they all are lit up at 100%, just like it was before. So nothing really changed with the display so far there. But I am curious of how fast that this went from 25% to 50% here, and now 75% even as we speak, and then back down to 50%. So, and back to 75% as we are speaking. So that is a very fast charge. That is not normal for charging. These light fixtures take a little bit more time to charge from 25% to 75%. But my point is this: I know without a doubt that battery number 3 is definitely defective, and battery number 1 is good to go. So what I want to do now, just like before, is turn these off and see what happens. Okay, so we got a couple of things going on. Number one, the battery display here remained the same. It's just blinking at 75%. So I know that battery number 3 is defective without question, and the light fixture itself is operating normally. Over here though, the light fixture is fainting with the 4 LEDs very, very faint in unison. And that lets me know that there may be something else wrong with this light fixture other than the battery. But without question, we know that battery number 3 is definitely a bad battery. So we're going to change out the battery now, and then on my own in another video, I'll let you guys know what's happening with light number 3. But if nothing else, we know we're going to have a good battery. And in fact, I'm just going to put the new battery inside of light fixture number 1. And I'm going to put number 1's good battery inside of fixture number 3. And in that way, I have a fresh battery in this light and a good battery here, but we have to do further troubleshooting on this light. Here is my package that I've ordered from Chauvet. I'll put a link in the description below. I have another video that I posted about replacing the glass on the light because we had a little mishap there with the wind blowing and one of the lights fell, and that was just not funny at the time, but funny later because we fixed it. Okay, so this is a lithium ion battery. Hopefully it's the same size, and it is. A little bit more upgraded, got a nice little covering on it. Connections are identical. We shouldn't have any issues. It's just 2 screws right here on the bottom of each plate. So in battery number 1, I want the brand new battery to go into it. So this battery is going to go over there. Here is the brand new battery right here, and that's it. There we go. Okay, so now that we have both of the batteries replaced, all we have to do now is put them back inside the light in their original configuration. So we're going to start with battery fixture number 1 and just drop the wide end down in there and taking this green cable, right? So I'm going to have to remove the slack and make sure that this slides down and it's able to lay down flat inside the fixture. And I'm going to use this one for a reference point in case you guys are wondering why it has to lay down flat. There are 4 holes, one in each corner of the bracket here, that screws into the housing of the lights. Ground wires tight. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky because that is a tight spot to be trying to put these 4 screws. So sometimes I do things like I'll take a little magnet here and I'll affix it to the tip of the screwdriver. And then what that does is it helps hold the screw onto the screwdriver like so. All right, so to give you guys a quick look here, everything's mounted. Let's put the whole entire light back together. We got light fixture number 1 all put together with a brand new battery inside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on at the moment just to see what things are doing and what it's looking like. And according to my 3 LEDs here, it's showing that it's 75% charged. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this light fixture in and let it get to 100%. Then this is something that I could just throw back into the mix later on. Light fixture number 3 was put together the exact same way light fixture number 1 was put together. However, I'm going to turn it on because this light fixture has light number 1's old battery in it. As you can see now, it does at least turn on. It's showing everything it's supposed to show on the display as far as the color goes. But let's see what happens when I turn this off and actually try to charge the light. I have the light fixture plugged in right here, and it is having all 4 LEDs very, very faintly lit, and I also have the number 8 flashing as well. So there may be something else wrong with this particular light in addition to the old battery that needed to be changed out. So this is the old battery that was in light number 3, and it's off to the side now, no good anymore. It may be a matter of either the display or it may be all the circuitry that was underneath the bottom plate here. Either way, I'm going to contact Chauvet and see what's up. So there it is, party people, mission accomplished. We have changed out the battery in a Chauvet Freedom Port Hex 4. I'm excited that it was an easy fix, but I'm still a little bummed out that light fixture number 3, the suspect light, is still not 100% to me. But if nothing else, I'll just continue the troubleshooting and figure out what's wrong with that light. My goal is to not have to buy another light. I would much rather replace a few parts than replace the entire light, because that's how you save money. And besides, that's why manufacturers have parts departments, because sometimes it's a matter of a small part here or there, and sometimes it's more worth it to replace the whole light. I think that circuit board thing may make me decide if I want to replace the whole light or not, but we'll see once I get on the website and talk to Chauvet. So other than that, I'm Gerald with G5 Productions, DJ Sound and Lighting. Please smash that like button, leave me some comments below, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications. If you want to get at me and find out more about the Chauvet Freedom Port Hex 4s or anything else we have in our rig at G5, hit us up at www.g5productions.com. Let's party.